A key contest in Brazil, one of the world's wealthiest countries. On Sunday, voters will cast their ballots for a range of political offices, chief among them, president. And there are some key issues in this election. They include unemployment. The labor market continues to show signs of weakness after 4 years of sluggish growth, but Brazil's jobless rate remains near record lows of 5%. Then there's education. President Dilma Rousseff approved the National Education Plan in June. It pledges 10% of GDP to fund education. But some say it's too little, too late. More teachers are needed. Healthcare is another issue. Each of the 3 leading candidates has called for more medical staff in public health clinics. Those clinics are the main source of healthcare for low-income Brazilians. And then there is the issue of crime.
The issue of violence in Brazil is historic. It is a circular issue. It goes back to the days of slavery in Brazil. It's a tradition that comes from slavery as much as it is the criminalization of the population and the criminalization of poverty more than anything. What we've seen in the past several years is investment in these areas, but shaky investments that don't directly confront the issue of social inequality.
So how will the presidential election work, and how likely is it Brazil will have an outright winner on Monday? First, there's the vote. Again, that is happening on Sunday. Aside from the president, there is also the National Congress, state governors, and legislatures. As for the presidential contest, if no single candidate wins a majority, well, there will be a runoff, and that is slated for 3 weeks later on October 26. The main candidates are Dilma Rousseff. Some polls have her holding a slim margin over Socialist Party candidate Marina Silva. And other polls have the two in a statistical dead heat. And there's Acio Neves, an economist who is also the youngest senator in Brazil. Now, the final televised election debate ahead of Sunday's election begins shortly. CCTV's Stephen Gibbs is in Rio de Janeiro with the latest.
Yes, just a few hours to go before what is arguably the biggest night so far in this election campaign, this big televised debate, principally between the 2 main candidates. We understand that they have all spent the entire day rehearsing. One of the things they do is look at tapes of their own performances in previous debates and the performances of their rivals. There have been 3 previous debates, as I say, but this is the one that really matters.
And not only the debate matters, but also how people talk about the debate afterwards. And especially now that we have social media and internet and so on and so forth, not only the official media, but also alternative media.
But just to summarize the latest polls, most suggest that Dilma Rousseff will win the first round, but won't win it by enough of a margin to avoid a second round runoff. Her rivals have repeatedly challenged her about what is seen as, at best, the lackluster performance of the Brazilian economy. Her main challenger is Marina Silva, the late entry into this election contest, an environmentalist who the business community do prefer over Rousseff. Her weakness is seen as a lack of concrete policy decisions. So the challengers in this debate will be pushing her on that. And finally, Acio Neves, the more right-wing, arguably, of the 3 candidates, perhaps the most pro-business, written off by some in the early weeks of this election, particularly after Marina Silva entered, but now seeming to creep up in the polls. There is an outside chance he will get enough votes to make it through to the second round. So lots at stake in this very unusual and unpredictable election, and tonight's televised debate a crucial step on the path to securing the presidency.